ihanga abantu mwe muhana abana twafu ishimwe aba bakutuzimira hari radio abari kumwita kubi nibarga mu makaki umuntu ngumunyencha kare norondo bwo kuba president omukasheshe notero umuntu ko buyano ihano you people kugira ubuntu bwo kwakabire no mwanga to kunama mwenyo ningamba ki umuntu okurire ngugu yafa bentu muterese umuntu mwebuzaho haraka gwakangwerera kinda kankatwara abana mutware eshatu n'ekiteka n'abandyaho abana after 7 years 8 abana bona bargayo umuntu wo kubanza unaterere nuwe wakabiri nafande nyakeirima wakashatu nafande sare konko umuntu wanyirikangirire nafande ugakeja ijaho yangira tohumure atabana bagireyo nubija kuba basheja atabatine mutumani beja kuba elfera atohumuri hangarho kiyarga hafande yatahamu afande sare yatahamu yangandra the same bashanganaho kunandyaho na yetiranya keirima atuhumure atihangarukiro abo kuba kampinde ntabana aba babura esente baza kwetura umihanga baza gukora ibi baza kutwita konka hati nisima hange kiyangangire cyona kikakorwa kandi yatumuruza abana bona barije abamwe babira basheja bamwe bakagaruka yo bashoma bamwe bari teji abamwe bari ampani bo bakutegeka za TV yeze turukureba mweno nonane nkiga mureke tusima abantu abatuvereye abahuri nabeshengereza nja kwata abantu bake turebe tugende bukari ntwenda kubahati twine sente muzakira twine bizwara konko kujoka so thank you so much what you did to us for the country only that tukakubimukira tukijantaho watu mwine ninga shikazo wa jimu ninga tukazo wa rigizireki tukajya tumwebare nicyo cyatureta konka bakamanya kibe inaha mutuma ekindi haza bintu ebiri kukorwa mu ihanga emwene tugwisa kubi twena nabamahe konko babere narebera haje kobere no mureba yandagurwa kubi kwakaya tubi atihangarikiro abe narebera hare abe atakurebera hagufu afande jimu nyuma baziyakigambireho umusheje gwabere narebera hare kandi kwagenzire nushoberwe akanterese mu end of July yagira tente zanjye tuzine nezi anento kukinyogonya n'ikinyogonya yanyita yo kubrene kinyogoga atompa muhanda atote mwabana atubazikume atuzigende zinyamezi nagira abana baswara za nyamizi injira yabo mwe nijo kwa kabiri nataya abana bari mugende mukumirete na hato bari tubatazi abo kuba nomanya aba bari kutuzumira harwedi yaba bakutuzumira mu mahurire bateye shoni yes kuba ko kweza kurugaho ibintu byona nibishekera mwe nijo rente zawe zikumirwe ziruho kandi nyenda kubagambira ngwito abamu kiruho mureke tushere tuze kusima abantu aba mwenu ogamba bingi nanyine bingi umutima konka byona Dr. Namara byona yabigamba kandi ubwo nkandiho nani nkandiho konka kutukuzagamba noreba bari kutujuma noina ngo kwate mbundo mwiti I'm telling you koko manya aisahanta twara be kusihangeli you feel so cheated you feel so bad you feel you want to kill but for sure we came from the homes ababiri bajumba bikaje katkora munonga mujimutse kashaka mutse revival ikatambira byate musasi abantu bitimwe nimanyo kuba gukora hari radio manyimo tumukureba social media yegam mwe kwemerero kazi mumusheja nkovu bantu mwe mutimo kuzuma muhana bana tumwini benu sokufa no manya unogenda kasita byono heze ojundweje amatoga kozireje aba enfuzi n'empaka zoskwatireho abamahe bawe no bamanya kandi nento gikozire yoko taje mu iguru mukama kecumuro kiwe jore n'abana bawe kijagumani mukama abamhereze cumuro kiwe.
Thank you very much, Dr. Karen Kayonga, for that wonderful eulogy. And we have made very good remarks, but I picked one, her pledge and commitment to the Right TV. And Karen, I want to inform you that, Rev, can you come along? That one of your products, one of your boys, is one of the technical managers of Right TV, and he's here with us. Godfrey Nwamanya is all the way from Iraq. And he's saying that he was happy that you have made the commitment and said that whatever amount of money they need for the support of preaching the gospel, especially for that, but it was emotional. But for those people, for us in the church, we shall pray for them. They will get the light that the general got. And when they accept Jesus Christ as their Savior and Lord, then they will turn and they will be transformed. Let's also recognize the presence of the Abhinda clan. And may I now request Senior Prince Andrew Tendo to come and make your remarks or your eulogy, whatever you may call it. Abhinda, Ntobamanya, Mtakaja Mtuabebwa, Konkihangana Hango, General Tumwine, Mtawanu wanyu wa mwishwente imwe abeagikika kanumuntu muhango munonga. I'm just telling our colleagues, the Bahinda clan, that General Tumwine has been such a big giant that he has so many people to talk about him and so many categories of people. The UPDF, the ministers, honorable members of parliament, but we have also identified one of your own, Prince Tendo, Chairman of Shere Boys.
Munyanya Zijole, Tumwine, Daudi, Nabanyanyoko, Nabarumuna bawe, Abhinda n'Abhindakazi, abantu bona ba Uganda, twashasha tosire nshasha konka ekiberi hano. Niyenda kwebaza Tumwine okuzwekera uruganda rw'Abhinda. Tumwine niwo muntu otakashwaraga kuba Muhinda, niwo muntu oyebembera ebyobuhangwa bwaitu hagati yensi etakukundage kwonka abwemereraho abuko natekateka unobasa kuba Republican at the same time ohekitiinisa obuhangwa bwawe nkoko kureba Mandela akarwanda ihanga rye revolutionary kunka yaguma ry'umwinginya yakuremera moyo y'ubwinginya yagiheza gito. So there is compatibility and complementability of those positions. Tumwine nyewe tumurumbuna wanje konka ni muramu wanje kandi nashwera Jole nyina Jole na mawe ni the sisters shukuru na kirumuna nabwecho aba my double relative ncho orebera umukoro yona anyesha hehi tugikora mbwenu itwabihinda bashaba ngame ko Muhinda ninzokera family ita y'Abhinda itwe bagendanwa yitu yankore etaheri na mirire hati yayongera yo kwinamirira konka eryargayo hati ninyenda kwebaza abihinda nyenda kwebaza umuntu tumwine nyenda kwebarizamu tumwine abihinda bona abateire itafari akucungura ihanga ryitu nibagira ngwembunde za kwatura zikazi yabo na mukaga ana mushanju konka mushanju zona zikazi kurisa abana babihinda mbagambe Samuel Magara Elly tumwine Pet Mwesije Asa Kasasira Charles Tarago David Ndayot mushanju tuba ikaje ajabe na mushanju Otyo Bueno obumanzi ombinda tuborwa nabwe ekyo tumwine akatujwekeragi nyona abakuzayi batinkaye gomuntu katumwine uburahanga yahunzire nebitone nebirabo byona omuntu abo emanzi omurwani abo muhandiki abo mweshongozi aba composer aba designer aba philosopher atekatekeri ihanga mbwenu umuntu gogo nomwihaye mbwenu twabihinda tumwehimsizamu konka yatugenda konkito mbatosere tugenzi w'abantu bengi munonga tokwasa kutegeka ensi myaka rukaga ukaburwa kuferwa aboko abantu bona gumuntu ito taho kuferwa no kuferwa konka itize nomu mbwenu jole tumwina kanyisya ahabo wenka kana abo ko muramuwaje ntuja guma mukomu tukubangire ntuja guma mukomu emikoro yone yatumwine ya family yitu ntuguma tukikorana iwe Daudi otwesije bambe tuyagumane iwe na family yawe nko kutubesera Elly tumwine taro umuntu wona watarakwatireho muri Uganda nyowe kitobobo aligire kumpa Muganda naheze kikari cyane cyabusabara nyanja nimwebaza jore oberero ntampa Muganda uko mbwenu nebyo bike abinda twaferwa konka twamwehimsizamu abo kuba nomwe abinda abayembekiri ihanga ryitu ryankore abayembekiri ihanga ryitu rya Uganda mbashika aho umuntu ke emanzikeji rugumya abashaija wotamusibwire na tukutendereza bona no wotamuliyeza amanyi tukutetendere Yesu mwana gambida omusaigwe mbwenito ijo akatwe tukabugabugana wambabazi munyanyazi ashojwe toro twarara kumwe twatarama n'umucyara wejore twarara munjemwe twaganira tumwine atandikira ubuyazarwa nasibura mani yatisi hatije omwana tumukunda rigire ko tara muntu gambere cyari tumwine ka tumukundi Henry agizira ati okumanya ngo mushaka ka revolutionary no buyabera tunga disappointments akata kargahamu ahamara mukura ngo yafuka ukakobesha majya ngo yafuka yaenda kuterebuka akaguma hari revolutionary program ye oba wamukora kubi oba wamukoraje tubine kimukwatiye we revolution akaba loyal to the revolution and also to his leader. So when I get in Qatar, it cut for cut losing the favor. Kokakuma na favor mwetu ebuza ahabwenshi itwe nebatsoso on hand we akaguma hamura magum itumwe kubatsosoroka cye tufuka twenda kuteshuka okachi atkonka wetu agoma correct line ati nicho mukama we yabera mukunda nebyo bike fare thee well brother Elly.
Thank you so much, Senior Prince Tendo Andrew. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished mourners, we are being reminded, and it's a fact that we should be mindful also of the time. We still have relatively good number of eulogies to be spoken, so let's be mindful of the time. Thank you very much, Prince Tendo. Let's welcome his doctor, his personal doctor, Dr. Abraham Omoding, as his personal nurse and niece, Brenda Chituma and Obeno Yetekateka. Dr. Abraham Omoding. Yabare mnonge byafayo okandika enamba yabinda atizindi ngando zabo nchira zomutakwandika webaro. This was a national cause, so they were fine. It was good, but I think it was a coincidence. Yes, abako ekintu kechi wakireka nibachangu sero noza kushanga zangu utarubaruchirwa bina ngobatiri kimwe. So they should be reminded that yes, it was a coincidence. Kalani zigaziro nyingi, Baganda, Victoria, all sorts of people are there. Otherwise, I was almost getting tempted to also start researching on how many were Bakimbi, but you can see how funny it would look. But it was a national cause, and all the people, it had a national character. All the people were there. You're welcome, Doctor.
The widow, Mama Jolly Tumwine, and the children of late Honorable General Elly Tumwine, the CDF, generals of the UPDF, the UPDF officers. Thank you very much. And men and all fellow mourners, all of protocol observed. Allow me to present to you a brief medical report of the late Honorable General Elly Tumwine Uhiriwe on behalf of the medical doctors led by Dr. M. Jackson, who is a senior consultant and the director of the Uganda Cancer Institute. We do have a couple of doctors that were involved in the care of Honorable General Elly Tumwine. From the Uganda Cancer Institute, I was the lead doctor who looked after him. My name's Omoding Abrahams. I'm a consultant oncologist at the Cancer Institute. Together with Dr. Okuku Fred, who is not here. Others are Dr. Solomon Chibude, who is a radiation oncologist. Dr. Lutu Israel, a senior consultant radiation oncologist. Dr. Leta Joseph, who is a medical officer, who is right on my left. Isaac Muliowa, who was the oncology nurse, who time and again, together with me, looked after Honorable General Elly Tumwine. We also want to recognize also the efforts from Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital, where General was admitted before he was transferred to Nairobi. We also had input from the Uganda Heart Institute, from Dr. Marino John, a senior consultant cardiothoracic surgeon. We also had a team from Mulago under the leadership of Dr. Rosemary Bianyima, especially the gastrointestinal surgeons who came in to help with the care of Honorable Elly Tumwine. As well as so to recognize the input of colleagues from Nairobi Hospital, Professor Godfrey Nsereko Lule, and Professor Tieno Abinya, who finally were at the tail end at the care of Honorable General Elly Tumwine. How and when did we begin to meet with Honorable? We first had our encounter as late 2020, just before the lockdown, and that's when we had our initial consult with him. Honorable Elly Tumwine was then 67, 66 years of age, and he presented to us with very three cardinal symptoms. One was cough, the other one was chest pain, and wheezing. These were very classical symptoms of a lung problem. We went ahead to investigate him. We had what we call a PET scan, which is an investigative tool to determine if you have any active cells anywhere in your body that might actually be reminiscent of a cancer process. That had actually revealed him to have a left-sided lung mass, as well as swollen glands in the middle of his chest, and it had actually already spread to involve his backbone as well. We had quite a back and forth conversation with Honorable General Elly Tumwine on whether we should actually do a biopsy as a gold standard in cancer care. A biopsy is key to determine the actual enemy we are fighting. Those were the words we actually used to talk to him about. It was a back and forth conversation until sometime in June of 2021. It was almost 6 months after our interface with him that we eventually had a biopsy done at the Cancer Institute. We were able to confirm beyond reasonable doubt that we were dealing with a form of lung cancer, an adenocarcinoma, which is quite a common form of cancer in our current setting. Over 80 to 90% of the people who are non-smokers can actually develop this kind of cancer, compared to the other type that is common in people who are smokers. We then embarked on therapy. We were able to initiate Honorable on treatment. We began him on what is called targeted therapy, because now we know that all cancer types are treated very differently, and particularly the type that he had quite a good benefit on what we call targeted therapy, which is a simple medication that we actually provided to Honorable. He took this medication for an entire 1 year. From June 2021, he did very well. He went back home. He went back to his usual routine. And we used to come and check him here at home. And we came up with what he called village therapy as a form of treatment as well, out of the city. And we were all very happy and very glad. Honorable was doing very well. It was until towards late of June 2022 that he actually called us and told us that he wasn't feeling well. At this particular time, Honorable had complained of, progressive back pain and weakness of his lower limbs. We were very quick to actually have a quick imaging to evaluate whether we were dealing with progressive disease or not. We did a couple of scans, and it seemed like stable disease, bearing in mind that we were already dealing with very advanced lung cancer because of his bone involvement. We then had a tumor board discussion at the Cancer Institute, and we agreed that we provide him with additional form of treatment to radiate the particular areas on his spine that had been involved by disease. He went ahead and successfully completed the treatment with quite very remarkable improvement. His pains all receded, his weak limbs became a little stronger, and we're quite very happy that all seemed to be progressing well. It was until late July of this year, 2022, that I received a call from him again, and this time around he had developed some complications with passage of urine. And when we reevaluated him, we now found out that I think we were dealing with progressive disease. sooner before we could do anything, he developed bowel complications as well as a result of complications on his nerve supplies to his bowel. We were quick to have him admitted, and we had to discuss, and we agreed in principle that we change his treatment to an immunotherapy form of therapy, given that he was quite very weak and frail. He couldn't tolerate chemotherapy. We began him on that treatment, but down the road, Honorable continued to deteriorate, and we had him hospitalized. In the course of hospitalization, now the challenge was complications with his bowel movements. We called on the GI surgeons to come on board to help with the bowel complications, but we couldn't do much at that point of time. He developed more fluid accumulation in his abdomen and also in his lungs, despite our effort to provide immunotherapy. Following that, discussions were made to have him airlifted to Nairobi. He was received by Professor Nsereko Lule at Nairobi Hospital. They attempted to do as much as they could, but a couple of days, 2 days after his arrival in Nairobi, he developed what we call sepsis infection, kidney failure, and on the early morning of the 25th of August, he got a cardiac arrest and he could not be revived. That was the tough bit. We lost the battle to lung cancer, but as a team that has cared for Honorable, we learned very important lessons from him. He was a very, very patriotic man. It took us a great effort to convince Honorable even to go out of Uganda. He believed in us. He believed in Uganda that he had fought for, that he had liberated. And he told me, Omoding, organize all your team. You must treat me in my country. His words were very heart-moving and very challenging to us. But in our entire medical career, we were not seen such a senior citizen who was not willing to travel out of his country to go out for treatment. We will miss Honorable Elly Tumwine. He's a patriot. He was a very knowledgeable man as well. He shocked many of us, even in the medical field. He was widely read. We want to thank the government, His Excellency the President, on behalf of our medical team. We also want to thank the family. I want to thank the UPDF, Directorate of Medical Services, and we want to thank God Almighty for a life well lived of Honorable Elly Tumwine. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So, Karen, you can take heart. While we have the other weak and the devilish side of the people who are celebrating the death of an individual, we still have people like Dr. Moding who can put things right, and they still hold General Tumwine in the highest esteem. Thank you very much, Doctor. Bari ntujya kubashabira nubije kurugona ubujuru mbitsi zabo kuko kine abarukumanya uko bintu twazwa kandi abarukumanya ikitumwina ko riri hange katwakire Brenda omuhara kandi omushaho we nawe privately. A niece and also a private nurse to Honorable General Tumwine, who has been with him for quite a reasonable period of time. Brenda, you measure? Okay. Zakushabira Brenda angakukwatse kugamba mzee wawe kandi ube norega.
Ndahanga semwe abamagara ganko Elly. Ndahanga semwe aba bantu mwena abayereka rukundo yanko Elly brilliant. My twin sister, can you kindly come here? Dhanga simwe, Auntie Jerry. Dhanga simwe, Daudi. Okuba omushaija. Amatsiko gatugarukiremu. Twamanya ngu anko ero kuwamusire n'omubiri nakurebire wabiira nko Dhanga simwe okuzaara. Dhanga simwe, Shara, Shivon, mwena nimwemanya abaana banko Dhanga simwe mami. Eshoboire omukazi ebyo kutube tukutinde okutushanga Nairobi tube nitumangu nofa. Niwe bene omushura amaizi. Dhanga simwe Auntie Jerry. Tingwenda kugamba anko Elly. Ninza kumugamba muheru. Ninyenda kusiima Auntie Jerry mumuteera mungalo. Esho Auntie Jerry. Manya mukusiima anko Elly na Auntie Jerry. Nyanko era kanyakira. Ndi omutifo. Tata yaheza kufa nibanyeta Kituma Brenda. Mwishukuru wa Yosiel Tehenda. Ababurunga kazo. Uncle Elly abaruta tento ombuzare. He was my mentor. He was my friend. He was everything. Ito tukabaga mfuzi kamuntu yakigamba. Buri tamu akashomesa abaana 68 n'okushaga. Konka 68 n'ababiri nibatura na Auntie Jerry. Bakora shopping, akora shopping, atureberera omu guest house Kororo. Aunt Mbabazi Rwakanyora bakaba bahwerana na Auntie Jerry. Auntie Jerry akizoku katukamwe Aunt Mbabazi atushanga Rubaga Boys. Nuko babe bakwatanisa n'abandi mwe no kugamba. Konka Ministry of Health nimbashaba muthe psychosocial support. Nyabura muthe counseling. Buri week mugume mutwetaha mutugambe. Tugwere ibakagwe. Twine buronda. Mbeni mpuraki nyenda ngunjure myenda za street za Nairobi ngwiraro. Konka Auntie Jerry batakunje. Abena tuburire ngiri. Twabe turi aho marayika yayohereza Dora Kibenda. Ruhango wango ero tareka tukafa. Dora yareka ukisasa. Nije na Bible agikweza munga. Dhanga yatugumye. Weeks ibiri za Nairobi zibire kindi. Mbweni tinkashabaga amagara ganje. Tinkashabaga nkukunshabira. Mbeni mbanye n'amatsiko buri izuba. Ndi omushaho. Mbeni mbanya buri stage. Konka ngumanye n'amatsiko ga Ruhango kwatukunda. Oshote nagaruka. Buri izuba batha news. Oshote nyene byabashaho. Oshote Ruhanga ino buryo bundi. Esho busasi. Dhanga ampamani. Ntebwa kwebaza abantu. Hata Uncle Elly. Kandi chango kambanze nyebaza abantu nimbaza kushankarana. I thank Amref from South Africa. I know you are here. I don't want to disturb you. I really thank you so much for the support. You have really supported me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I thank Dr. Patrick Kagusi, the country manager, who quickly ordered the aeroplane in a shortest time, and it took my parents safely, and he was extremely happy and comfortable. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will never forget you. But because of my pain, I want to resign. I want to resign. I don't want to do any mistake. Let me first settle. I want to resign. I want to thank Malago team. You are fantastic team. May God bless you. Dr. Muding, I'll never forget you. We even brought you some gifts from Nairobi. Simple gifts, but it's a sign of love. You cared Uncle Elly fully with much love. I thank Isaac and Dr. Joseph for you were a team lead of massaging. Thank you so much. You gave us a good reception in Mulago. You did your best. You did your best. I thank you so much. Mwena bafutina Mulago, mureke kugitina. Mulago nirwaru rungi munonga nibamanye cyo gukora n'abashaho barungi mureke kutina Mulago nirwaru rungi munonga. Tukashikana Nairobi batugira ngo we didn't know that these drugs are in Uganda, are in Mulago. Thank you so much, Dr. Muding. Thank you so much. Ninyenda kwebaza Uncle D, omwami wanje. Ninyenda kwebaza Shivoni. Ninyenda kwebaza Roni. Ninyenda kwebaza Terry. Ninyenda kwebaza Muhinda. Abami beitu mwebale munonga munonga. Mwebale munonga. Tukuza kugamba in details mukozere konka mwebale kworeka Uncle Elly rukundo. Mwebale munonga. Mwene kamba garikirara Uncle Elly. Uncle Elly abari muzaire weitu akatushomesa nyo n'umurongo wanje ogu kwiha primary 4 mpaka tuhingiye nkashamba nawe gawuni omu all saints nakimukorera nashemererwa yankwata omukono yange abo wakenesi mwesi ekyo ninkisimira Ruhanga. Yanshomesa nansingi naheza naza degree naheza nkoreire mu myanya mirungi kandi atagindondeire konka bwa rukundo kandi nakumotivatinga tinguza kurondera murimo oyefeho kandi oyefaho kandi through his guidance otunga ekyokwenda waba ataine corruption yona abakumugamba nibamugamba mbasasire nabo tibakubimanya ebyo ni politics ati politics nizo kintu kyoki nyo mbasasire aba media mbasasire bambe bakugamba tibakubimanya mbasasire kandi mukarokoka ki mbasasire nyo mbasasire. Ekindi Uncle Elly akatwegesa tolerance abari omuntu orikugumisiriza buri kimwe okija kumuripotinga aho atereka ekyo kyonka ekyo ninza kukimisinga reka kandi okireka oreeba watebekana wakora eki abantu ekibashemereire kukora mbwenu anko eri ruhanga iguru karyekora kandi ruhanga mpeire omugisha si ruhanga nankunda mbwenu antugere tinkumanya oku nkubasa kukwebaza ruhanga ow'omwiguru okuyanahurira akuha eby'omutima gwawe bigukwenda eshantugere ompeire chansi y'okuziika omuzaire wange mbwenu antugere tube ntwenda kugurira nko enyonyi twena abaana beyashomeise tukakora purani haza purani egi egumeho bantu tugurira ntugere enyonyi egume mutware nk'oku tube ntwenda kugigurira nko eri mureke bambe tugurira ntugere enyonyi egume muyihe n'akasere muto mu nteza zireeba gake n'abeshengereza nimwemanya mwena muri abatungi nimuvuga amamotoka mwine za diguri mwine abakazi banyu anko era bashomeise mwe nimureke tugurira ntugere enyonyi n'abeshengereza mube mutagiguzire ninza kugigura mu izina rya Ruhanga na quotation nkanagitungire esente ezo nubusha anko ere byakozire bwokumara yange tinkwekwata abaana b'abasirikare ababenadorotoro kunarondera esente ona nabo kani bingi ona baba ati makerere nkahi ati yona hetera omutwe ona tukugigura aba babenatambira amataka ababenahoreza biha ona mwana mwenda mutugure enyonyi egineberema kumwakuyire ekishuba Ruhanga yabakwasize mwakunzira nko eri tumureka tukagunda ntugere ogwoine omwityo oshutamyaho embu y'okuza kubeyera ashanduuki egi etakituhurira n'abeshengereza mureke tukunda ntugere eshantugere nk'okwokumureeba okwashunshwire ishokye rye okwakureebeka gye n'omutima nikwo guri nshokujunwa antugere Ruhanga wawe wakuhangire niwakukumanya aba nibakubeiha byakoma hati konka Ruhanga wawe wafeire omu magara ganko eri okamugumisiriza ebintu bye byona n'ebirungi n'ebibi akwine anko eri antugere akwine Ruhanga mbwenu hatukanzara anko eri akarondera iguru anko eri akanyegesa obutesasira anko eri nakwegesa okugumisiriza hariho bakwata munyanya zaha Kampala road omu Babesige ntumanya anko eri ntumogi bamukwatira omu Babesige atereka kubeiha ati n'ekigurupu ntanko eri ntumogi yakuhandikaho ati nibamubehera okwabenatetsa tariho omwana weena owaratemeire owaragiriire ekiniga okiboko ziri ihano okija akujya ati yebare kikazi yebare aturikayo nkukikira akweshongorera kya mununu biha mwene ekyo ntwija kukihayo shango eri wafere okwo kushereka okurwara nayenda kushemeza buri omwe kumureka omu businge bwe kandi akikozire hati okutuhurutira omutima tukagwiraro ekyo nikigasha ki shango eri Ruhanga akakuha amagezi birthday birthdays zetu zona z'abana banjye zanjye na 24th akagaba 25th birthday yanjye yagikora 24th Nairobi mwenu nk'ekyo ninja kukihayo eshi twashasha ebyo nyabura muturondera ba counseling n'abashaba twiha mugunda mutumbyaho konka ruhangaro shanko eruwande makugamba hetu anko eri nkurebereire ruhanga mpire umugisha kumbe naho mana guma nantera story nangambira kuyanywine na dadi okubanywine makeze nangambira kubatwire hamwe burunga okuyabe nashomero watatenkura bitehenda aguma nangambira ebyo nambuzabuza nguntashasha ntumanyango eri kaninde buryota ati don't worry anyeshongora eshanko eri ruhanga kumpeire mwenu izoba kuyagire kushika tware yaremba antugere yatugera tunyabaramwe atumuzeyo rayende kugambe cyakwenda kugamba kigambe akimugambire mureke kuzagambira shanduki antugere ninkwebaza okutwabureke yebare munonga shumugambire bintu byanje byona mbajwekere mfuze za Uganda zona mugambire buri kimwe namwebaza on your behalf namwebaza nti yebare yakimanya yankwata omungaro yamanya ngu message nagimugambe yebara antugere for your guidance Eshanko eri wakisase mwene nkushabire ekihumuro kirungi anko eri
Thank you very much, Brenda. Because of Brenda's remarks and Karen Kayonga's, allow me to read a quotation from Martin Luther of General Tumwine, the biological children. The children except Daudi, but abo jona bishiki ba fande muje mugambe bugambo byanyu.
Oliver. All protocol observed. Good evening. Allow me to remove my mask. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. Allow me to do that because I'm not going to be able to mention everyone. I want to start by praying for strength and wisdom from the Lord to speak. Too good.
Yes.
That's our commercial break song. Yeah? Please cue every time. I'd like to thank, first of all, each and every one of you for coming. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming. It means beyond words. You being here for us and standing with us through this time. I want to thank God. It should have been the first that we get to celebrate Daddy's life. It could be worse. We may not have been even given the chance. But we are here and we are celebrating a life that was fully lived. As so many people have said, Daddy was so many things. So many things. And on top of that, he was a father. A father to the fatherless and a father to us. He still had time even for us. Okay. Yes. So I was saying, Daddy, I think I should start with thanks. Yes. I think let me first build strength for Daddy. I want to thank the doctors. Let me start with the doctors. Dr. Omoding, you hold a very special place in this family. There's a night Dr. Omoding came at 3 a.m. and was here till morning to be with Daddy, to help Daddy, to make sure Daddy was okay. He was the reason that, okay, it was God, but through him, Daddy was able to also enjoy. As you've heard, he found out, it was confirmed 2 years ago. But he was able to attend all these functions. He was able to attend, to go and do his work, go home, visit people, see people, because he was in very good hands and a very good doctor. Thank you so much, Dr. Omoding. I would like to thank our bigger family that's not here, our aunties, our uncles that encouraged Daddy, Uncle Enos, Uncle Elly, Uncle Ezekiel, Daddy's friends. He really talked about you. He loved you so much. And towards the end, he kept on asking, do you know my 20 good friends? And we kept on telling him, but Daddy, they can't only be 20 because it's the whole world. Today it's this one, tomorrow it's this one, tomorrow it's that. But he loved each and every one of you. I can't mention all the names, but thank you so much for being such a good support system for him in his good and his bad times. I also want to thank, I'll start with the in-laws, in-loves, we call them in-loves. They became one of us. They may not be here, but they are really part of the children. Thank you so much. You know yourselves. I'm not going to go down into mentioning names, but I'm going to do it anyway. Uncle D, Ron, Sheila, Terry, thank you so much for being part of the family. Daddy loved you, and you loved him back. We don't take that for granted. I want to thank my siblings.
Guys, thank you so much for loving Daddy. And and Auntie said that we didn't thank him when he was here. We thanked him. Each and every one of us thanked him when he was here. There is no doubt about that. So thank you guys for loving Daddy. As much as he loved us too much. But we loved him back, definitely. Right before I talk about Mommy, there's something I wanted to talk about. This was when we were in the hospital in Nairobi, when we were praying for him. One of the things that we were convicted about was to seek forgiveness on his behalf. So to ask God to forgive him of everything and that he did knowingly or unknowingly that was wrong, and just seek forgiveness so that he's on a clean slate. And I also wanted not to only do it with God, but with everyone here. In case that he wronged you in a way, please forgive him. He forgave you. If you also wronged him, he forgave you. He forgave you, he forgave you. He talked about forgiveness so much towards the end. And I don't know for people who went for functions that he was at, he talked about how he even forgave a mosquito. So, if you can forgive a mosquito, how much more a human being? Yeah? So, kindly take this apology from us on behalf of Daddy, and also receive forgiveness on behalf of Daddy. Okay. Mommy. Mommy, Daddy loved you. He loved you so much. He hung on to one. Yeah. He even gave you his own special name. That's how much he loved you. And that love is not going anywhere. You've been given how many? 1,000 for one. We may not be the same, but we will do our level best to love you and stand with you and support you and encourage you and pamper you and do everything and more. We love you so much, Mommy. Thank you for keeping your vows that you made before God and made before Daddy. I feel like you've even gone beyond, and God is going to abundantly bless you and reward you for that. Yeah, Mommy, we love you. Okay, now Daddy. I know they've talked about all the beautiful aspects of Daddy and how he was sometimes not simple. But for me, recently I looked at it and I said not being simple was just because he was so passionate. He was passionate about the things that he loved, all the things that he thought about. Daddy was such a philosopher that every morning there's a new philosophy. So you see life now. Every morning, what have you thought about today? Now let me tell you what I think about. And it goes on for like 30 minutes. So if you're late, you might as well count an hour after. Because Daddy would give you an example or just a new idea. And like Brenda said, he gave birth to another Daddy over here. So if you want to know Daddy, you'll also meet him through Daudi. Daudi is also a philosopher like that. Even with that said, actually, Daddy is alive in each and every one of us here. And even you, because he left something. If it wasn't blood, it was an idea. If it wasn't an idea, it was faith. If it wasn't faith, it was a story. It was patriotism. It was loving the nature, loving like all the things he loved and shared he has left in each and every one of us. Like he always said, his 3 words are values, sharing, things, values, and sharing. And he did all 3. He had things and he shared them. He had values, he also shared them. And so they're in each and every one of us here. So he's going to live on. He is going to live on. May we take each and everything that we admired about him, he imprinted on us, and leave it on. Yeah. Okay. Now, let me say a little bit about my relationship with Daddy. Tukute. Thank you very much. So, Daddy, my relationship with Daddy, I am Daddy's last girl. And so many people thought I was the last born, but I am not. Jerema had to go to the village, but he will be back. And I think because of that, I can't take some longer. And I think sometimes it also went overboard, because there are times I felt like Daddy just wanted to see me as a flower vase in the house. I know it's okay. He would ask Edna, and I'm like, but Daddy, I can't sit at home and just look. Me not have a conversation with me, not to, just for me to be home. And it used to rub me off the wrong way. Then I realized it was all love. And he did that for each and every one of us as well. We all have unique relationships with Daddy. No one can say, I don't know, how can I remember Daddy? If they're to all share memories, if they are going to share memories, they'll all be very unique. So, me and Daddy are very alike. Tukunda abantu, tutaho jenye, tuyaraifu. And one of those things he'd say, Konkiwe, every wedding that is there for you, you go. And I learned a saying in Nyankoro. Ejuga ezare woroga. And after I learned that saying, every time he'd ask me, I said, Ejuga ezare woroga. So if you think for you went for weddings, now you wait for me. Because I will also attend just like you have. I also have as very many friends just like you have. And yeah, that was our relationship. The last thing, I got to spend Father's Day with him, the last Father's Day with him on the 19th of June, 2022. I put him in my car. You guys, I drove Daddy. I put a full jam in a small car, and I drove him to a restaurant, and we sat down and talked about so many things, conversations I am thankful for that I had. I remember
Yesu mana gondiga
Saibo Gunasisa Ebasa Omurokosi.
I told him things that were really on my heart, because growing up, me and Daddy were very, very close. And then I think when I became a bit older, he became a bit too tough. And then I said, but that day we talked about certain things that I think had affected our relationship. And I wanted to share it not only with my siblings, but with everyone here. And it was one of the things that I told him about was anger. And it was something that had rid him of so much. And when I told him about it, he was actually shocked. And he was like, I thought I was so easy. I said, Daddy, easy? How? Like, you know how it reaches a point, and because he's such a military man, when it's here, like they've been saying, it is here. Try and fail, but never fail to try. That was Daddy. And so it started building here. So I told him about it, and he said, you know, it's only people that are with like friends or see you or know you that can tell you these things and you realize. And he was so thankful for it, and he promised to be better. And he really was. He really was. It's not something that was going to change in a snap of a finger, but he was more intentional in, yes, letting go and letting God and catching himself. When he's about to, he's like, let me pour water on on this fire. And it really enhanced very many relationships. It also enhanced his relationship with Mommy. And yeah, it was really something that we thank God for. Yeah. Yeah. Let me allow my siblings to say something. But Daddy, we love you. We always will. You're here to stay in us. And we are going to make you so proud.
Kama simu, praise God. It's hard to believe that we are standing here talking about Daddy. It's like a bad dream that we are going to wake up from. Okay. Ndakwebaza Mukama azagamba my name is Shiba, Mama. Ndakwebaza Ruhanga Mnonga awamagaraga Dada ge amuhire. I thank God so much for the life that He gave Daddy. I personally believe, and I told him that Daddy, you've lived a long life of riches and honor, like the Bible says, because you are a righteous man. Daddy, God gave him everything. You've seen videos circulating of him saying, God gave me everything I asked him for. Daddy always used to tell us, even on his brokest days, when you would go to him and ask him for money, he would tell you, I'm rich. I'm rich. He gave himself to each and every one of us. I personally admire Daddy so much for his brave character. How he always used to tell us he was ready to die, and he would make fun of us being scared of death, especially me and Mommy. Akagumanat that me, nyoni tayari anytime. God forbid. And he always said that, not just now. Ninsima Daddy oktetsa unconditionally. Twena koktulia abakuru abana. Then his grandkids, he would just become a nuisance. He loved them so much, and they love him too. And some of them don't understand right now, but it's a lot. He loved Mommy, like Edna said. We all knew. Daddy loved his country. He loved God very sincerely. Everything that Daddy did, he did exceedingly. Like, he would outperform himself at everything. There's a sister of mine, Shara here, who likes calling him my Valentine.
But that's because he loved us so much that he set the standard of love for all of us that we couldn't be loved any less because he loved us right. He supported us so much. No more Shavizitu, no more Virunja, no more. I remember there was a day in high school in particular, they called Daddy to school because my brother had written on a wall and it was illegal. And he defended him and said, Mom, head bucket your painting. As even a painting, it's art. Like, he would defend you. And then Akhtar was Rakhana. Konkaya Helze could defend him on Mishogawan. Daddy was so much fun. A very fun man. You've seen his videos of him dancing in this compound that are going viral. That was Daddy on a normal day. He would, he was so humorous. He would try to catch up with the trends, even of our age. Dada kwambura mtoto mbai dada kuzat, hi. He was just so funny. He loved music. We had that in common. He would wake up one morning and say, now Shiba, we're going to compose a song. Then Antoine Kankanambola Stadium, Matisha, my God, and I would want the ground to swallow me. And then we would sing his malaria songs with him. And we would laugh. But my God, we don't take those moments for granted. It's because he was just so much fun. He was fun to be around. Our children enjoyed him. We enjoyed him. Oh, we really give glory to God for that. I thank God for giving us an opportunity as a family to nurse him. I don't take it for granted. I thank God that we got an opportunity to see him, even in that state where he didn't want us to see him. In Neshka in particular, when I went to see him in Mulago, the moment I went through the door, he said, because he knew I used to fear. And he would tell me, Shiba, I'm fine. No one's Nairobi. He could not speak at that time, but he just held my hand and squeezed it. And I knew he was telling me, like, look, girl, I know you, be strong, And we got to pour our hearts to him, and he could hear us, and he would cry, actually. We would see him tearing when we are talking to him. I thank God for giving us that moment. Now my weak spot, mommy. I'm the mommy. Mommy, ntukushabura. Ninishka nongambira oti nkalaba mukintu kyakakoma konkeeki. Mommy, we're with you. Next kuza. Like I told Daddy, I remember one day, Dada can't feel in one of these last days in Nairobi. So when they had just resuscitated him and he had got back to his consciousness, I told him, Daddy, don't give up. Fight, you're a fighter, you're a fighter, fight on. Wait for Mommy, she's coming. I told him, don't go before she comes. Queen, Queen, we are with you in death, we are with you in life, we are here. Hassan de Yaguma, Mama Queen, we are with you. We're going to love you and be with you unconditionally. Thank you for everything that you did for Daddy, the sleepless nights. I thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Sleep well, Daddy. You're an angel, a glorious one. Without a shadow of a doubt, we know that you're in heaven. Enjoy those wings because you've earned them. I love you so much.
stage koko shitani neyemereye koko emerera kugamba yeshitamu bueno nyowe I have a few things to say. One, daddy I had a moment. I was with one of my other brother, cousin brother. He's called Timothy. So we were inside here tukaturikira ishomero akajwira isati ekereho those who know Mr. Joker. So the shirt had, why so serious? So he asked him, what are you putting on? So Timothy told him he's called Mr. Joker, and he was like, what does he do? You know, he's a person who liked more about discovering, knowing about something new. So he asked him, what do you like about him? So Timothy told him his quotes, his movies. So immediately he went to Google. He Googled Mr. Joker. So the first quote he read, it was like, life fucks everyone, not until it's your turn. That was the first quote that he read. He told us, you know, in life is all about what you make it. If you decide to take a route that me, my mentor, the person I follow, my role model is Mr. Joker, then these are the words you'll be saying. But me, my mentor, when he told me that, I remember that my role model is him. My mentor was him. He was my afande. He was my commander. And one of the things that I will never forget, I used to love him whenever he was in his combat. He was one of the smartest. I think one of the army officers who can try to keep up his smartness is General Coretta, but the rest he beats them up. Let it be the president himself. That's what I liked about Daddy. I didn't have enough time, you know, books. The only time is maybe 2 weeks. So, what hurts me most is that the last time I was with Daddy, we were done with exams, but they wanted to extend for some time study holidays. So we told him, there are no students in school. He was like, so you want to go home? We're like, yeah. I said, okay, come. So day 1, day 2, on the 3rd day, we were supposed to travel to the village because we don't normally stay here. So we delayed to wake up. By the time we reached here, he was already harsh. We didn't even greet him. We didn't say anything. Kwatizawe. Home. Can't daddy? No. Go. Ask to Ashreyo Namtel. I called him. He was like, I will call you. Can't you tell you? So it took a week. After a week, you know, Phoenix, you know, 20 years back. So by the time he's admitted that Nakasero. Hati, I called him, he didn't pick up. I tried to call Daudi, he didn't pick up. I never got in touch with him. The next time I heard, he was lifted to my room. So, yargaho yahika kurugomagara genseji The last moments were bad. God knows everything. God, Daddy now Kureka, rest in peace. I shall forever see.
Tumwine tiine bingi by'okugamba, but all I can say that the love does. Even the little time that he had, he was so busy. As a busy father.
Already it's on air when he plans to. Okay, you just start.
But
Okay,
nevertheless,
you start.
start.
Viewers of UBC TV, we want to once again thank you so much for being part of the official vigil of the late Honorable General Elly Tumwine, just right here at his home in Nakasero. Lots of things are being said about the late General Elly Tumwine, and to just promise you that UBC TV is live here. We'll be live tomorrow at Kololo, where the state funeral will be held. And of course, thereafter, his body will be lifted to Akazo, where he will finally be laid to rest. Lots of so many things have been said, but we just want to promise you that we will continue letting you know, of course, the conversation about General Elly Tumwine is immense, and lots of things have been said. People are eulogizing, celebrating, and talking about who General Elly Tumwine was. The family is speaking now, and because our time and for the news is just right now. We want to thank you so much for being part of this broadcast live here at Nakasero, at the home of General Elly Tumwine. We'll take you to news room where Rorin Kazimoto will be giving you the news at 8 o'clock, and we will meet and continue with this conversation tomorrow at the Kololo Independence Grounds. My name is Jagana Semakula, on behalf of the team that is just right here. For now, blessings, good night, until tomorrow again.